This video is brought to you by the FARMER-KLEIN YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at the lands of Europe. But before that, this video is brought to you by Dave Demented. Thank you for being a farm baron. So the Great Lands of Europe. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub. And as of the 1.0.0.1 release, this map is available for all platforms. The description goes on and says, the Great Lands of Europe is a fictional map inspired by the plains and landscapes of Europe. This is a large vehicles map with one breeding cow farm, one point of sale, sheep function, interesting, fast forward time, which I have to say I really don't understand what that means, resetting vehicles on the farm, and with that, let's just go ahead and jump on in. Now we'll go ahead and activate the mods that we typically use when we take a look at these maps. And I will say that if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you're going to find that everything is identical to what you're seeing here in New Farmer mode. As a result, I highly recommend that you start playing this map if you're going to play this map in New Farmer mode, because the main farm is part of the typical unbuyable land. And as a result, it's insanely expensive. And on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, you do not own it. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the map. So we'll zoom on out, and here we are. If we take a look at the lands area, you'll see we start out by owning fields 1, 7, 22, 29, 30, and 17. In addition, you own the main farm, all of the sell points, and pretty much everything on the boundary of the map. If you go to sell the main farm, you'll see that you will sell everything except 29, 22, 7, and 1, and it has a cost of $7.8 million. So if you want to buy the main farm, you're going to need $7.8 million. Henceforth, why you really need to start this map in New Farmer mode. You take a look at some of these other land prices. Field 3, $1.3 million for 75 acres, or just under 30 hectares in size. Field 6 is 8.97 acres, or 3.48 hectares in size. That's $163,000. So these fields are fairly big and fairly expensive. So let that be a warning to you with respect to buying land and starting in some mode other than New Farmer mode. So you see, we have all of the main crops available to us here on Farm Sim 19. And if we go ahead and take a look at the soil map, this map does indeed have a custom soil map. We can see that soil map applied here. And I don't know, I almost feel like I need to take that statement back about this map having a custom soil map, because this map looks an awful lot like the generic soil map. I'm starting to wonder if they didn't just put the generic soil map in the map files, because there is definitely the entries for precision farming in the map.xml, and there's definitely a precision farming soil map file in the zip, but that looks an awful lot like the base soil map. Go ahead and move on to our prices screen. You can see we have one main sell point for the bulk of our crops. We also have a spinnery for cotton and wool. Eggs can also be sold at that location. We do have a dedicated milk sell point, and then the same sell point for our bales of cotton, wool, and dairy, or it's not dairy, or eggs. It's also going to be our sell point for silage, hay, straw, and grass. I didn't activate the straw harvest add-on, so I don't really know for sure, but typically the same place that will accept our silage, hay, straw, and grass is also going to accept our pellets. There is no biogas plant on this map. You can see we start out with a very modest list of starting equipment. All of it is new. None of it is leased. We do not have any animals at the start, and the map does indeed have contracts available. Let's go ahead and take a look at that starting equipment. We start out with the Case Puma 185. So our tractor is 225 horsepower. We have the New Holland TX32 harvester, and that is paired with the TX32 header. We have the AgriLiner TKD 302 trailer, the Horsch Tiger 6DT cultivator. We have the Vanderstand Spirit R300S seeder. Then we have a modded cow pasture, bunker silo, and that is it. Now we can sell the cow pasture and the bunker silo. Let's see, can we put them back down? We can indeed buy the bunker or the cow pasture, which is good to see. And we can indeed buy the bunker silo. The map has built into it a sleep trigger, which we cannot sell. So that means that we cannot buy another sleep trigger. Sleep trigger is right over here. Right here at the kind of this gate. And this is the main farm. So we have a maintenance trigger right here in the shed. All of our equipment is conveniently lined up for us. I'm guessing this is also the reset point, since it did mention in the description the reset point was back at the main farm. We have our grain silo dump right here. Let's go ahead and look and see if our silo fill is right next door. It is indeed. So there is our silo fill point. And then I do believe that this building also has collisions on these walls. So if we wanted to, we could pile up grain, root crops, or whatever inside of this particular building. Now, if we move on, our cow pasture is located right here. In fact, our food trough and straw triggers are located inside the shed here. Our cow point is right here, 200 cattle. You can see inside the gate, our water trigger is located inside of here. And we use the Animal Pen extension mod, and that is the mod that gives us these blue pipes. Helps us locate, 1, where the water trough is, and 2, where the milk trigger might be located for our cow operations. So you see the cows are walking around there. Here we have the manure point and the slurry point for our cows. Our modded silage bunker is located right here. There you can see the trigger for that. And let's just check and see. Milk is a byproduct, so let's see if we can't locate that. So hidden away inside of this building is our milk trigger. Wow, that couldn't be stored anywhere least obvious, could it? And we know this is a milk trigger because the Lily Milk sales machine, which is part of the Animal Pen extension mod, helps us locate where the milk sale trigger is, or milk trigger in general is, and that is inside of this shed. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. I think someone should teach a class on not how to build a map, but maybe things to think about when designing a map. Like putting things where they're pseudo-obvious. And that concludes our tour of the main farm. So let's go ahead and get set up for a fly around, and we'll take a look around the main map. And then that is actually probably going to be it, because as we look at the main map, we're going to be able to locate the other sell points, and there's only really two other main areas on this map of interest. We have the shop and a few sell points there, and then to the north we have another collection of sell points. So as we gain a little bit of altitude, we can go ahead and kind of take a look around the map. There's a sheep pen right over here by this treed area, right there beside the 9 on the PDA. You can see that this map is composed of fairly large fields. If the PDA did not kind of give that information away already. One of the big things to look at, though, is what do the roads look like? Because you're going to have to traverse the roads, for the most part, in order to get this big equipment to the fields. The roads don't look too terrible bad, but we do have trees kind of lining the road that you will have to navigate and deal with. So here we have the sheep area. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and kind of cheat and do the sheep area here while we're down here. So this is going to be our sheep trigger. Oh, sorry, this is not sheep. This is cows again. Some odd reason I was thinking this was a secondary sheep area. It is not. It is a secondary cow area. So we'll go ahead and do that. Inside of here, we have our food trough. And we have our water trough. Let's go ahead and see. Now, this open cow area does not produce slurry, milk, or manure. So this area is basically for your beef cattle, if you will, because you will not be getting any milk out of the cows in this area. As I have already mentioned, the map is 100% fixed in all play modes. All the buildings are here. Here we have a little bit of a shed that you could use during your gameplay. The road does kind of narrow up here with respect to trees on either side. So again, that is going to be a factor when it comes to trying to move large equipment around the map, is how accessible is the road? How wide is the fence coming out of the shop area, which is actually directly below? So we have our shop trigger located right here, as well as our customized repair and sell point. Here we have our milk sell point. Everything you buy at the shop will have to traverse this gate, or obviously resetting it back to the farm. Over here we have our lime buy point. We have our fuel trigger, and then we also have our animal dealer located right here. Then we'll go ahead and kind of follow this road up to the next set of sell points, which is directly in front of us. overall, I think this map is pretty much maybe a European equivalent of a kind of a Midwestern map, where we don't have square fields, but we do have very large fields. For the most part, the fields do not look like they're bordered by any sort of fencing or big hedgerows. And here we have our last set of sell points. We have our sole grain sell point, located right here. And then we have another sell point, which is actually located right here. This would be for our bales of, and tag this place. So right there, that's the location for our cotton, for our eggs, and for our silage, hay, straw, and grass. So guys, that is it. That is the Great Lands of Europe. Kind of a short video, but overall, I mean, it's a fairly basic map. There's 2 areas to sell stuff, and you really have one playable farm, aside from having probably, you know, one other location where you could stage equipment. And then the rest is kind of fairly open, large fields. Some of these fields look like they could be merged together with some plowing action going on. And overall, you could probably get around the roads, but you do have things like this, where you do have kind of the narrowing of the road because you have equipment on either side of it that you might have to consider, especially if you're pulling something big through here like the Seed Hawk, and then the Seed Hawk seed tender, or that real massive 20-some meter wide cultivator. So guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think of the Great Lands of Europe? And until next time, happy farming.